I want to give a huge shout out and a thank you to my sponsor, P2 Collectibles, located at 204 East McGalley Road in Muncie and on eBay as well. So next time you're here in Muncie, let us know. Come give us a visit. Hey, what is up, y'all? This is Alex from Plus 2 TCG, and today we're going to be talking about cards you may not know about that are coming up in the new set, Flames of Destruction. Now, this set has some pretty cool stuff that I'm pretty excited about. One, Altergeist. There's also other stuff like Goki's, Battermen's getting new stuff. The Tindangle Trickstars are getting new support. I guess like some new like Link-ish support, which I think would be great. You can get rid of that freaking Licorice. Vampires. There's a lot of stuff that are. The Troy Mares. Those are also coming in this set. But we're talking about cards that you may not know about. And to start off those cards, we're going to be looking at Bound Link. It's a quick play spell with the effect to target one Link monster you control or in your graveyard, return it to the extra deck, and if you do, draw cards equal to its Link rating, then place cards from your hand on the bottom of the deck in any order equal to the number of cards you drew with this effect, and you can only activate one Bound Link per turn, which makes it a hard once per turn. So let's talk about this card for a second. It kind of reminds me of the Skulldread card, where we can draw cards and then put cards back equal to its Link rating, so you can kind of unbrick your hand if you have the cards to do so. But I don't know if this card is going to be like meta defining. I just think it's got like a little niche effect where it allows you to draw cards, put back something from your extra deck that you really need, one of those Link monsters, and potentially unbreak your hand. So I think that's got some merit to it. Another card I think that is worth some merit is Ruthless Drop Off. It's Counter Trap. When a card or cards in the graveyard and or face up on the field is added to your opponent's hand by a card effect, look at your opponent's hand, also banish all cards from their hand with the same name as the added cards. I think something to consider here is the fact that when they add the cards back to their hand is that you get to look at your opponent's hand. It's not so, I don't know if like the adding the card back from the graveyard or face up from the field to the hand is going to be the like new meta or anything. Who knows, maybe it could be, and maybe this card will be played some more. It'll be the new Vanity's Emptiness in 2 years. But the fact that you get to look at your opponent's hand and banish cards from their hand with the same name, that first part, you look at your opponent's hand, is very good. You get information and you get to banish the card that they added, so that's relevant. Another card to look at is Network Trap Hole. It's a normal trap, so Rafflesia is now able to use something new other than Floodgate. But when your opponent special summons a monster from the deck and or graveyard, banish that monster face down. So that card is really cool in the fact that it can be utilized from deck, so maybe Rafflesia might be able to be played a little bit more. Who knows? All I know is that we're getting a new trap hole, and it's got a cool niche effect similar to Floodgate Trap Hole where they remain face down. However, it's got to be special summoned from the deck or graveyard, so I feel like this is more of just a side deck card unless you're playing Trap Tricks. Then you have all the trap holes at your access. Moving on though, we're looking at Cybersal Cyclone. This effect is to target one Link monster your opponent controls, banish one monster from your graveyard with the same Link rating as that monster, and if you do, destroy that monster. Then, if you banish the monster whose original type is Cybers, you can destroy one face-up monster in your opponent's spell or trap zone. So I think a lot of the utility Link monsters that are able to be utilized, for the most part, are Cybers because they're generic and the Link mechanic kind of introduced Cybers. So for the most part, I feel like a lot of the Link monsters are Cybers, or some of the, like I was saying, the utility ones. So the fact that you can target a Link monster your opponent controls and then you banish a monster in your graveyard, something that's already been used, with the same Link rating, which for the most part isn't going to be too uncommon, then you get to destroy one of their monsters and potentially another face-up card in their spell trap zone. So this has a potential to clear some boards, but I just think its niche effect is pretty cool. And it's something worth mentioning. I don't know, like I said, I don't know if any of these are going to be like meta defining cards, but I do think they are pretty cool and they have very cool niche effects. Moving on though, we're going to look at Pint Size Priest Hidaruma. It's a Fire Beast Warrior, attack 1500, link 2, and its arrows are pointing to the bottom left and the bottom right. Its effect is that it gains 100 attack for each beast warrior, or beast winged monster on the field, and then once per turn you can target one spell trap on each player's field, destroy them. That's what I think is pretty cool, is the fact that it's not a generic Link monster, because it does take either 2 beast warrior and or winged beast monsters, so it's not generic in that aspect. But for the decks that it can be played in, it's nice spot removal. Also, when this card destroys an opponent's monster of battle, you can target one of your beast warrior, or winged beast monsters that is banished or is in the graveyard and add it to your hand. So this will probably be seeing some play in baby raccoons. Who knows, maybe like, I don't know, Boojins, if you're into playing that kind of deck. But a very cool card nonetheless. Another cool card we're going to be looking at is Space Insulator. It's a Dark Cyberse attack 1200, Link 2, and it goes to the top and bottom. And it's cool because it is a generic Link monster that allows access to the top and the bottom. So it can be placed in for cards, well, because we don't have any cards like this really, a generic Link 2 for the top and the bottom. So I just think the Link arrows are very relevant, and that's what makes this card so cool. And then the effect is that monsters this card points to lose 800 attack and defense. When a Cyberse Link monster is Link summoned to your field while this card is in your graveyard, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can special summon this card to your zone that monster points to, but it cannot be used as Link material for a Link summon. Also banish it when it leaves the field. So it's got some cool recursion effects. It's probably just there for the 1200 attack if you're trying to go for game or something, or if you need like tribute fodder. I don't know, the fact that it can't be used as a Link summon is kind of bad, but the good part is that it is generic. It's Link 2 and its arrows point to top and bottom. So all in all, that is a pretty cool effect. No, not effect, a pretty cool aspect of this card. And the last card we'll be looking at is Tiamaton, the Steel Battalion Dragon. It is a Dark Dragon, level 4, attack 2000 and defense 0. Cannot be normal summoned set, must be special summoned by its own effect. If 3 or more cards are in the same column, you can special summon this card from your hand. And if this card is special summoned, destroy all other cards in this card's column. Unused zones in this card's column cannot be used. So that's cool, because if your opponent loads their columns with cards, then all you have to do is just set a card that you can afford to get destroyed, summon this thing, and then continue from there, which I think this is going to be a cool card. I don't know about meta defining once again, but I do think this card is going to see some play. I don't know if the rest of these cards will be seeing a ton of play, but I do think this one has a cool enough effect and a strong enough effect to be utilized. It's kind of, unless opponents are going to start like planning where their cards are, they're really going to start setting their boards up with cards in their column in mind because of this card. But yeah, these are just some of the cards I think are going to be cool. Maybe not super relevant, but I think it's something to be talked about, and these are just some cards that you may not know about in Flames of Destruction. Let me know what you think about the cards that I mentioned down in the comment section below, and this is Alex from Plus 3 TCG, signing out, y'all.